Hey everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town, and today we're going to be hunting through another $50 or 5,000 pennies. And what that means is I'll be looking for errors, wheat pennies, Indian head cents, and anything cool. We have been finding a lot of good stuff, and then I'll be showing you those as we go along. And before we hunt for enders, I do want to say that I'm going to be filling out with the wheat pennies a similar wheat penny album, and we'll see how far we can get. I have $1,000 total plan, and we'll see what happens in that folder. And here is the start of our hunt. I just checked for enders, and between both boxes we only had one wheat penny ender, and it is the reverse showing, so we don't even know the date. And then here are these two books that I'm going to be filling out. We've filled out about $100 worth so far, and we have 900 to go, so this will be kind of the thing that stays consistent across all of my videos. But we'll see how the hunt goes here. Right here is a great way to get the hunt started. We got a wheat penny reverse showing, so we'll flip it over, see what we got. 1952D, that D stands for Denver, so it was made in Colorado, and we'll see if we can continue this rate. One wheat penny for every roll would be really good. I'll check the next one. And unfortunately, that one a roll pattern did not hold. Here we are 6 rolls later. We have another wheat penny to take a look at. It's going to be from 1951, and then if you look over here, we also got a Canadian cent 1978. I do pull these out as they are no longer being produced in Canada or circulating. Two cool finds in the very next roll, one of them being slightly more abnormal. The first, though, is just a plain old 1946 wheat penny. Then here we'll flip this over. It's an older Canadian cent. This one from 1962. And we've definitely won a few rolls without too many wheat pennies, but we did get an older Canadian one again in this next roll. So here it is, a 1964. And then we also found a 1976 coin, and then one cool coin from a couple of rolls ago that I wanted to point out. Check out this wear pattern. Something crazy must have happened to this one. Too bad it's not a rare coin. I'm just going to be throwing this one back, but thought that I would showcase it here in the video. At this point, we definitely have a lot of catching up to do. About 2 rolls after the last one, we found a 1953D penny, and then as well as a 1941 S. So S is from the San Francisco Mint, for those of you that don't know, and it's not as common as the Denver or certainly not a Philadelphia mint. So that is a cool find today, and maybe we can keep it up in the second half of the first box. And with the slight lag in wheat pennies, I'll never complain about another one. So there's a 1956D, and the next roll will be, I believe, 22 rolls left in this box. So just to give you a bit of a time sense of where we are. Follow that up with a few rolls later in 1957, probably one of the most common dates that we get, though it's cool to have that separation in the wheat years. And we'll keep going. One roll later, and yet another Philadelphia Mint 1952 50s find. So just wanted to report on that. And it seems like we're definitely getting a better concentration towards the latter part of this first box. So, things are looking normal, if not good, for the overall hunt. And let's check out this really worn, or not even worn, but damaged wheat penny, 1953D. So a little bit of a false signal of a potentially older coin, and then a 1981 Canadian penny. Now with about 8 or 9 rolls left in this first box, I gotta find that. I'm definitely gonna point out a 1967 Centennial Canadian commemorative cent. So it's always a cool design, fun to find, and I do think it was actually one of our enders, so a solid update for sure. So in addition to that 1976 kind of uncirculated Canadian cent, we've got this potentially older one. Nope, it's a 1951D, 1951 Denver wheat penny, and we've got 2 rolls left in this first box, including an ender, so we know we have one more wheat penny coming, and I'll be right back with that update. Some more good news here, and we got a 1952D penny. One thing about the good news, though, is it's almost always confined to these newer ones. And then over here, we got a 1963, so I think that means we got a 62, 63, and 64 Canadian combo so far today. Now let's get on to this roll, and I'll be back with a moment after I unwrap it. Somewhat predictable of a story on that roll. The ender was the only one that we found. It was in 1944 Philadelphia, so a pretty common date to us actually. And I'm just looking over right now, the end of box 1 concludes with a total of 12 wheat pennies and 10 to 12 Canadian pennies, so a pretty average box, but I'm hoping that those other 50 rolls waiting for us will be containing some pretty cool finds. And on the second roll, it does look like we've got another wheat penny, and this could be slightly older, I'm not really sure. 1941, so definitely on the older side of our box today, but normally I do like to try to shoot for a pre-1940 wheat cent. Those are often a little bit more difficult to get, so we'll see what we can do about that. And it does look like we're going to be able to fulfill that goal of getting a pre-1940 with a 1934, and we may not even have that in our collection in terms of the folders. I'm going to do an update about that at the end of the video though. And then here, I don't know what this is. 1957, so a very standard one, but 2 Wheaties in a roll is also very good. So that could mean some big things for this next box coming. And another quick update, we got a 1951p wheat penny very next roll. So let's see if we can keep up the streak to get a multi-roll streak going. And the general number of wheats has been really good in this second box. This is 11 rolls in. We're going to pick up yet another, this one being a 1956p. So the only thing I can complain about is that it's not the best in terms of distribution of dates and mint marks, but hey, you know, I'm not going to complain if this box wants to throw a bunch of 40s and 50s no mint mark wheats at me at the same time. And we ended up going on somewhat, you know, kind of a mini drought, but we kind of are clawing our way back in here. This one is a 1952 D penny and pretty beat up both on this back here and the front. So we've got about, I'm just counting them up, 27 rolls to go, and hopefully another nice wheat harvest remains. And that is probably the most beat up wheat penny that I've ever seen in my life. Extremely worn looking. I think it says 1945 though. Unfortunately not a specifically older date, but you can see the wheat ears and the 1 cent there, so I know what we're looking at. Too bad it couldn't be something more rare. And right here we've got 1941 as another find. This one looks a little nicer, you know, decent condition all around, and now at 21 rolls left in these 2 boxes. Here it looks like we have a pretty nice condition wheat, not BU or AU or anything, but just a good looking one. 1939, wow, awesome. So I think that'll replace a wheat penny in my collection that's pretty beat up from 1939, but definitely a good find here, and not what I expected, to be honest. The nice separation of the wheat ears and just overall nice appearance definitely is a better find of this box. Check this find out, everybody. I know it's on the front. Normally when I reveal, I haven't seen it, but in this case, I just saw it face up, and I flipped it over to reveal with you guys on camera, so let's take a look. And it's a really, really worn 1918 coin, over 100 years old, and what's really curious to me is this kind of weird wear pattern on it. Maybe some acid got in touch with it, I'm not really sure, but all I know is that we got a coin over 100 years old in this box, and that makes me really, really pumped. And 3 pre-1940 coins so far in this hunt, which is a really good mark as well. So great update. And they are keeping on coming throughout the hunt. This one, we don't know what it is yet, but it is a 1955, so I think that's unique to today's hunt, but always check for the doubling. You'll definitely see it if you have it, but it's not the case on this coin. And the wheat pennies sure are making a resurgence here. There are 3 rolls after this, and one cool thing is most of them have been on their back, so we get the live flips. We'll see if there's any cool reactions. 1946 and 1955D, so nothing too crazy. I do think the 55D is also unique to this hunt though. And let's go over that recap. So to start out, we had a bunch of different Canadian cents. I'll just kind of scroll through them briefly. We had 20 in total. And the older ones were the 1962, 1963, 1964, and Centennial. And the dates varied, I think, from 2001 back to that 1962 I mentioned. And then we did get a lot of cool new dates for the folder. In terms of the totals, I think we had 15 in the 1950s, including, I think some of the new ones were the 51, 51D, the 55, 55D, Not so much. I think we had the 56s, 57 before. And we also did get 7 from the 40s, including a 1941S that will look really cool, and then that super worn 1945. And then moving down, we got an upgrade in the 1939, just a really nice looking coin. And then the 1934 is also new for the album. We already had a 1918 in better condition, but a really cool way to finish out the box as well there towards the end. Getting a coin over 100 years old is always something that gets me excited. So thanks for watching, and 7 total new upgrades for the folder and 1 better condition. So I should have said 7 new ones and 1 upgrade. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't already, I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay in contact with me on my Instagram, TreasureTownYT, Facebook, TreasureTown, or my website, TreasureTownYT.com. And I love receiving packages from you guys. I'll unbox them in a video once I get enough, and my address for that is TreasureTown, P.O. Box 201, Greenwich, Connecticut, 06836. So I'll see you on some of my other videos.